Once you get out of scarcity mindset, the world opens up. There's plenty out here. There's Coke, there's Sprite, there's Dr. Pepper, there's Mellow Yellow, there's Mountain Dew, there's Sunkist, there's Fanta, there's the off-brand soda. Look how many sodas are. Oh, even if I'm in the same lane as somebody likes my flavor. Yeah. Like, what's my flavor?
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Be Do Become TV. I am here with my friend. He was one of the first friends I made when I moved here.
Yeah, you just moved here.
What a thing. Stevie Rome Green Jr. He goes by Rome. So Rome is a comedian, actor, and businessman living here in LA, Hollywood. He is one of the members of Dormtainment, which is a comedian collective. Started on YouTube. It started again, and now it has amassed 1 million plus followers. He's also a host of the Comedy Trap House, also a co-host of Boss Talk. And then finally, he is the owner of Shady Side Up, which is a sunglasses brand that he started 2 years ago and is now a 6-figure company. So today I wanted to talk about self-mastery and brand building via social media and how those things all interact with each other. You went to college for sound design, you met these group of friends on the first day, and then in 2009 you all come together and decide to start Dormtainment. Take me back to that moment in time. Like, what was your spirit then? Like, what is it that, how did the idea come about? What is it that you were trying to achieve?
I think it's a part of what you preach is the B. Right. It's the B part. When I met these guys, you know how you meet people and you're like, oh, nah, I've known you. Like, we here. That's exactly what happened with us. I was like, all right, I know these guys. I feel like we just connected on not just like a friendship level, but like a brotherhood level. We just all had the same mindset of like, we want to do something different. We want to make impact. Impact has led me to where I am today. Like, make impact in some sort, whether it's through comedy, whether it's through words, whether it's through just being who you are. Like, that's what made us all form the group together. And yeah, it clicked faster than we thought. We just knew that we wanted to give something to people every week, every Sunday, and display our creativity.
But you did it at a time where social media wasn't quite where it is now.
Definitely not. It's interesting, right? Because it's like, we always do those things like, what if, you know? And so we always like, what if we would have had like Instagram and like TikTok and all the things? But I believe we wouldn't have resonated with people the same. Right. Because I felt like because people had to watch us on YouTube, they had to go to one destination, focus on one place, focus on one time. We were able to build like a family dynamic.
I know the page got deleted and you had to start it back, but having 1 million followers is 1 million of anybody.
Oh, yeah, 1 million.
It's like it's
have
a
1 million anything,
milestone.
dollars, followers, anything.
Exactly. Is quite a milestone. I want to get into like what the beginning is like. The reason I want to talk about beginning is because whenever we meet someone at the point of their life where they're excelling or thriving, we always wonder, like, how did they get there? Yeah. And I know the beginning of anything is always challenging.
We were 20, 21, which is it's wild to think about. Young, but just had the energy, right? It was an energy. It was like, oh, we about to make videos. I don't know how we get paid, but let's just make some videos, right? And I think it's just the normal struggles of like figuring out who you are, figuring out what, especially in a group dynamic, figuring out what your voice is in that group, figuring out what you want to tell, figuring out the story that the group wants to tell. Then it's down to basic business, like, oh, we got to get a business license. Oh, we got to get a tax ID. Oh, shoot, we can't do this because we try to form other things. We try to do a nonprofit, but you got to have profit to have a nonprofit. So we tried to be a club promotional group. We threw one party. 7 people showed up, 6 of them was us. So that's that didn't work out. We were like, but that was us just trying to
To
do.
figure it out. Yeah.
Yep, and just trying to do instead of trying to be. You know,
Right.
that's why you have it in the way you have it. You know,
Yeah.
be, do, become.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We had to be first, and we was like, who are we?
Right.
We're just silly guys, silly college guys. Let's make these videos. We like movies. We like comedy. Boom. I tell creators, anybody listening, like, if you haven't started, the best way to do it is to, well, at least for us, in my opinion, I'm a reverse engineer type of person. I like to jump in, oh my God, I'm swimming, then figure out, all right, let's back it up. Because now the action has been put forth.
Right.
And I think when you put the action forth, God meets you halfway. And I feel like if you stay stagnant, you're gonna talk yourself out of it. And what I've learned as recently, and we'll get into it, is just like that money likes speed and
momentum.
And like that's what we had. We was like, all right, let's just keep it going. We don't know what we're doing. Let's just keep it going.
It's
Anything
like
I start now, I'm like, let's just go. Let's figure it out.
It's like basic physics, like things that are emotions stay in motion.
Stay in motion. The beginning was a lot of like trial and error, and slow growth is better than no growth. You know, we never had a video that was like, we dropped it and it was like, oh, 5 million views the next day.
Right.
We never had that. And I'm not mad at that, because that slow growth, it allowed us to have engagement and not just followers.
Right.
Like, so it taught us script writing, it taught us storytelling. Right. Once again, if I wouldn't have had that, I don't know if I'd have been as good at storytelling and stuff now.
Slow growth will always teach you things that you know you'll miss on the quick rise. So
because people are like, oh, only 5 people watch. Hey, it's okay, because those 5 people are like, boom, we here. Them 5 people gonna tell one person, you know, and maybe they might not watch them, but maybe they'll double back and be like, what did you say that one thing was? Then that turns into 10, that turns into 20. And
you started this thing, but then it gets deleted.
Yeah.
And that's a major setback. Absolutely. Right? That is like gutting.
That's a hit. It's like a restaurant burning down. Yeah, it's a hit for sure.
But how do you start again, but start the same thing? Because at that point, when you have this major setback, some people might think, well, maybe I should change course, or maybe I should do something else.
The why was there, right? We said we wanted to create an impact, and I can't create an impact if I have nothing to create with. And when we were trying to get our channel back, you know, long story short, the young lady who was trying to help us get our channel back, she passed away, and she was a fan of ours, and she was pregnant, right? And that was tough for us, because we were like, it was almost like we were like, is this a sign that we shouldn't be doing it? But we switched the perspective, and we was like, no, we made an impact on her so much that she was trying to help us get our channel back. So like, think of how many other people out there like supporting us like that. So we was like, all right, the why is still there, so let's continue. And because we continue, we came back stronger the second time, right? Because we came back and everybody flocked to the channel so quickly, it made noise and speed again. It made, and so that allowed an agency out here to be like, yo, this channel's growing so fast. What is this? Who is this? If we wouldn't have never got deleted, it still might have been like slow growth. But because we got deleted and had to come back and everybody jumped on and everybody was talking about it again, it was like, oh, who is this? Who's this making this noise? What is this? We got our agent, we got our manager, then stuff started rolling. And even to this day, when I'm thinking about my business now, like, and everything I'm doing, I'm just like, oh, the why is really important. Like, it's very important, because whenever you get lost and whenever you have those moments of, I want to quit this shit. Why? What am I doing it for? Like, I have to have that. It's the staple.
It's your compass.
The staple. It's the compass. Yeah.
Everybody has to start somewhere.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
And you just have to build. You just have to stay in it. You just have to lock into where you are in your life.
Yeah.
And just continue to do that. And eventually, you'll be one of those people that another person is going to be the.
It's happened to me plenty of times. I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, nah, it's never happened. What, man? I like log on and stuff. I'd be like, bro, they don't even do nothing. They got like 100,000 more followers.
Yeah.
But I'm like, wait, time out. There's 7 billion people in the world. I just haven't found my people yet. And they're out there. They're waiting on me. I'm playing. They waiting on me. I'm playing. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing worried about what everybody else is doing. I just got done reading this today. There's wants and there's needs. Right? Needs are comfortable. Needs are like, oh, I need to keep this job. I need to make sure that everybody's seeing me on social media, because if they don't see me, then I don't exist. And I need this. I need. Want is something that lives in abundance. Want is something that is like, okay, I want the fast car. I want the traveling lifestyle. I want it, and it's okay. Don't let anybody like try to make you justify your want. Like, well, why do you want it? Because that's what I want. I'm living in abundance, and I know abundance is out there for me, so that's what I want. But when you live in a need and a necessity, it's a scarcity mindset. Once you get out of scarcity mindset, the world opens up. There's plenty out here. There's Coke, there's Sprite, there's Dr. Pepper, there's Mellow Yellow, there's Mountain Dew, there's Sunkist, there's Fanta, there's the off-brand soda. Look how many sodas are. Oh, even if I'm in the same lane as somebody likes my flavor. Yeah. Like, what's my flavor?
I want to talk about SSU. So you started it 2 years ago, and
3 now. 3. Or almost August 20th would be 3. Yeah.
And you guys have managed to build it into a 6-figure company, which again is a milestone.
Yeah, we started it, and it's still a baby. Like, I think they say you're a baby in business from year 0 to 5. From year 5 to 10, you're like a toddler, and then from 10 on, you become an adult. So like, we're literally in baby phases, and we're in the process of rebranding. We're in the process of like still figuring things out, but that's the fun part. That's the journey of it. Like, I'm falling in love with just being a creative entrepreneur.
Right.
I feel like when people ask me now, what am I? Besides a beautiful black man, I like to say I'm a creative entrepreneur. So that doesn't box me in.
What is it like now having a product versus a platform?
On the creative directing side, as far as like coming up with ads, coming up with commercials, all that stuff is fine. It's just the manufacturing of the product. Now I have to talk to manufacturers. I have to like get in inventory. I have to get in samples. Once I get those samples, I have to make sure the samples are good. I have to do what they call white labeling, which is put our brand on the. Then you gotta make sure it's spelled correctly, and if it is, if it's not, you gotta send it back. You gotta. That part of it is a whole nother thing, but that's why I had to learn how to delegate. Delegation is key in business.
So at this point, you've done all these things, right? And still to go, but at this point, do you think there is a formula for success?
Yeah, I think we said it earlier. I think the formula is motion plus effort plus not quitting. And
motion plus effort plus not quitting.
So motion part is right, the execution part. I got the idea, execution. Effort is I can go to the gym and I can work out, or I can work out.
Right. Yes.
We done all been to the gym. We done all been to the gym, and we be like, oh, I got a workout in, but we done left the gym like, whew, okay.
Yeah.
That was a workout. That's effort. And then not quitting. Every time you don't feel and you attack that I don't feel with I just have to do it, that's another lever pull for success. So everybody that you've seen successful, they just didn't stop. Right. 99% of the world is going to tell you, oh, slow down. Oh, you need balance. Oh, but they don't understand your drive, your hunger. They don't understand why you need this. They don't understand your why. I learned recently that was something that was so key to me, right? Because I was having this issue with like, man, do I have balance, or am I not? Like, what is this? And then there's a guy by the name of Myron Golden. Y'all should look him up. He's a great guy, older gentleman, multimillionaire businessman. He said, this is for all the people who are feeling bad because you are so obsessed with what you're doing. He said, don't feel bad. He said, do you think Noah could have built an ark that was big enough to house all the animals if he wasn't obsessed? You can't halfway do that. You can't. That doesn't. It doesn't work that way. You have to be obsessed with getting the task done. Your hunger and obsession is producing something. Yeah. Issa Rae, if she wasn't hungry about what she did, there's a lot of jobs that wouldn't be had right now. And so think about that when you're building your business. Like, oh, I'm creating something for somebody. Like that's what we're all here to do. Shady side up, the bigger it gets, the bigger the brand gets, the more jobs I employ, the more lives I've changed. The 2 people that I first hired, they were like, oh my God, thank you for this job. This really saved me at a time when I need, and I'm like, oh my God, like that's what it's for.
I want to add to that, like, it's very simple. Ecclesiastes says this, right? There's a time and a season for everything.
Everything.
There's a time to plant, and there's a time to reap. There's a time to sow. There's a time of toil. And so I think about that all the time. There will be seasons where more work is required of you.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then there are seasons where you get to sit back. And seasons can be long, they can be short. But also I think it's good to not deprive yourself of the work that is being asked of you. Like, life will ask you to show up in a particular way, and if you get a calling to do that, you have to answer.
You just gotta answer. Now you're gonna be wondering. I'm just not a what if guy. Oh, that makes my stomach hurt. I'm just not a what if guy. Like, I want to exhaust everything. I can't be a what if guy, because that one thing could be the thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather just turn all the stones over. Just turn them all over. Okay, now it didn't work, that's fine. At least we turned everything over.
But you aren't a comedian until you tell a joke.
Yeah.
Right? Even if you think it in your mind.
It's just there.
It's just in your mind. Like, you can't be a comedian until you tell a joke. And that it has to, action has to follow. Like, you have to show up. So to recap, success is motion plus effort
not
quitting.
Yeah.
I want to go back to your childhood. Who was he?
Just a goofy kid, man. I was the kid in front of everybody at the barbecue doing shit like boy, sit your ass down. Why? I want to do stuff. Like, discovery has always been a part of my life. Like, the thing over there, I want to discover it. I don't know if it's part of my like Aries nature. I don't know if that's where the stars line. I want to go see stuff. I want to like, it's a little dangerous, but let me go touch it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that was me as a child. And then being a military brat is what they call them. Being born in Germany, then moving to Boston, then moving to Panama, then moving to Florida, then settling in North Carolina. I seen, even if I don't remember everything, I know my brain took in a lot of life early. Like, oh, so I think that's why travel is so like ingrained in me. I'm like, I've been doing it since I was born into travel, like molded by it. And so I just had this like passion for discovery, and I think that's what's kept me going like this whole time. Like, that's why it's hard for me to say what if, because I was like, let me discover what that is. That's why it's hard for me not to listen to my gut when it's like, let's go this direction. Like, let's I think I learned to trust my gut very, very early. My grandmother put that in my head too. She was like, always listen to your gut. Like, I remember one time, quick story, my cousin, he was a little bit older. I think I was like 14 at the time. He was like 18, 19. And, you know, big cousin's going to party. And I'm like, I want to go, grandma, let me go with cousin. And she's like, nah, you're not going. And I was like, she tripping, man. She gonna let me go. I'm gonna just ask her a couple times. That's grandma. She be wildin'. But she was very particular this time. And she was like, no, you can't go. But it was something in me that was also like, all right, I ain't gonna go. Like, you know, girl, I ain't gonna go. 5 minutes pass, my cousin leaves. He calls. He's in a car accident. And like a railing went through his whole passenger side door. Through the door, out the back window. Wow. I'd have been done in that car. So from that early age, I was just like, I'm gonna listen to when my gut really like tell me something, I'm gonna go with it. Now, have I always since then? No, of course not. But I try my best. And then I was a fat kid. That's where my personality came from, right? As the fat kid, the girls don't want to talk to me. So I'm like, all right, the only way that I can make friends is I have to be this extra. I got to be this like, I want them to be around me. Because I was lonely, to be honest.
So what would you say were some of your like, one of the greatest lessons you learned as a child?
How quick life can go. like seeing friends around me pass away, seeing me when I got my first car accident, how fast I was like, yo, just like that I could have been done. And it was a bad accident. Yeah, environment shapes everything. I think that was a big lesson early on, because I just seen it. I'm like, people who stay here stay here. Right. So I think I should get out of here so I can get out of here.
You talk a lot about, like, in your interviews and stuff, about being overweight as a kid and like how it impacts your life. So was there a moment where like you decided?
Absolutely.
To
Absolutely. I never forget it. I was 15. I went to the doctor with my mom, and the doctor was like, your son is borderline obese. And I just couldn't take it. I said, borderline obese? He was like, borderline obese. But I also knew, like, shoot, in my family, there's a history of medical conditions. And I was like, oh, nah. And that's one thing about me. When I put my foot down and I say I'm going to do it, there's nothing that can stop me. There's nothing that can stop me. And I told my mom, I said, he'll never say that to me again. And that was.
So how did that moment of transformation happen? Because it takes effort, commitment, action to go from overweight to not.
I had support system too. Like my mom seen how hurt I was, and she was like, okay, I'm gonna help too. She starts changing foods in the house. My stepdad at the time starts taking me to the gym with him, started taking me to do that. When I would go to stay at hotels or do things, I would take the stairs. I would not take the elevator. I didn't take the elevator for like 3-4 years. I was just up and down the steps. I don't care how many flights it was. I was like, I'm getting this weight off me. That's, once again, back to the why. When your why is because I didn't want to die. Like, that was like, and when that's that strong, you're like, nothing's going to stop me.
Most people get to the commitment where they've either reached rock bottom or they are in crisis, right? And it's about, how do you cultivate the spirit of change, or how do you cultivate that without reaching that point? It takes a lot because people desire for change in their life. People desire to be fit for whatever reason, but just can't get to the commitment parts of it to actually create the change, right? How do you think, without having to get to crisis, without having to think you're going to die, how can you get from desire to action?
Try to operate from my future self. Even when I don't have any money and a job would come, and I would ask myself, would my future self take this? Like, or am I just taking this out of pure desperation, and will I be any type of proud of this when I do it? Because there's been times where I've done it like that, and I'm like, I feel miserable. I did not want to do this. I'd rather go back and figure it out, because this is terrible. So I try to operate from my future self. So when people are looking to change, operate from your 10x self. Like, operate from, okay, I want to start working out. Vision, like, I think meditating, getting in, like my future self is killing it right now. But the gap between now and my future self is like, just one day. Let me just go one day to the gym. Cool. Once you go there one day, don't make this whole plan of like, oh, I'm about to be going 4 times a week. Go one day. And then say, I'm gonna come tomorrow. Go tomorrow. Once you get into a rhythm, I think rhythm is momentum too. Because you get into a rhythm, you're like, dang, I went 3 days last week. Okay, that's the start. Cool. What if I can go 4 this week? Like, you know what I'm saying? 4 turns into a week turns into a month, and then you're like, oh, because that's all people need. They just need a little bump. I think people they need to set obtainable goals and not just goals.
Right.
Like, you don't like to read? I'm gonna read a page today.
Yeah.
I read. Cool. Most of the time when you do it that way, you read more than what you're gonna read. Because you're like, oh, I'm in it now.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'm gonna read a page. You're gonna read more than the page. Like, I'm a writer. I'm gonna do a paragraph today. But once you get in the flow, like, stuff starts coming. So people just need to get in the flow state. And the reason why people can't get in the flow state is because we're distracted. We on our phone. We worried about what's the next thing going on. Get off of all that and be like, all right, future self. how do we meet? I want to meet my future self. Because my future self is wealthy. He's smiling, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that guy, he looking good, you know what I'm saying? He got a little salt and pepper beard going on. I like that guy. He got a floral shirt on. I know he got so I want to meet that person. How do I meet them? Oh, I need to take the right path to get to where they at. It's like, oh, I see him in that building, but shoot, okay, I got to go down the elevator. Okay, I got to cross the street. But I can see it.
That literally is the ethos of be, do, become. Become is like the vision. The
vision, yeah.
Is like, and your future self. So you describe him. He wearing a floral shirt. He looked good. He has some beard. He think he over there. How is he being?
How's he being?
Yeah. What are his core values? What is he doing? How is he moving through the world?
Like if he could talk to me right now, what would he tell me?
What would he tell me?
Yeah.
How do I need to be, and what do I have to do to get there? And self-mastery is definitely a passion of yours. You talk about it a lot. Yeah. Travel has become a part of your lifestyle and a part of your own journey to self-mastery, right? You do your 5 a.m. workouts and all these different things, right? What was there anything that like kick-started that shift? People want to learn how they can do this for themselves, right? And how do you get started? So what happened?
I don't think people realize that books are some of the biggest blessings that we have out here. Think about it. How arrogant would I have to be to say there's a man in front of me. He's like, I've lived 1,000 years. And I have some information for you. You just have to sit and give me your time and presence. I'll get back to you, dog. Okay, you tripping. That's what books are. It's 1,000 brains, millions of information that somebody was like, you know what? I don't want to hold this in. Take it.
Yeah.
That's how I look at books, right? And I'm not even saying just physical book, audio book, whatever, like just books. So I remember I love Pharrell. He's an Aries like me. I feel like we connect. He was talking about The Alchemist years ago. And I remember I kept hearing him talk about that book, and I was like, and at the time I was like, oh, this reading stuff, man. I'm not doing all this reading. I'm probably like 27, I think, 26. I'm with my mom in North Carolina, and I was like, take me to the Barnes and Nobles over there. I'm gonna go get this book. It can't be. I knew I was on a journey, but I didn't understand the milestones in the journey and what they meant and how I felt, how to articulate it.
Right.
Because The Alchemist is just a book about a journey.
Right.
I get the book. I was like, let me start reading in the car. I could not put that book down. I was like, what is this? Who am I? I got home. My mom was like, you want to eat? I was like, yeah, just fix it. Okay, cool. I'm on the couch. I'm on the bed. I'm sitting up. I'm whole book one day. Then I get back to LA and I'll tell the guys I read the book. And then one of my homies is like, have you read the 4 Agreements? I was like, no, but now I'm like, okay, what's this? It's like when you ride first class for the first time, you're like, oh, my world
expands.
What is this? I read that book and it's like, oh, this what life means? This what this? Then I read the 4 Agreements and it breaks down, different trauma, different things in life, why we do certain things, and I'm like, what's this? I'm like, and that just kind of, it was that step-by-step thing. One book after another book, because now I'm in it. Then 2020 came and the world shut down. But right before 2019, I had one of the worst financial years of my life and just one of the worst. I was just losing. I was like, dog, I'm getting my ass whooped out here. And we all need that sometimes.
I'm laughing because I know.
You've been there. He's like, this year has kicked my ass. Bro, I ain't even got my hands up no more. You just beat me now. Like, come on. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Nah, man, I'm not letting that happen to me no more. 2020, I'm going off. Yeah, well, it went off. It went off on the world. Yeah. And I said, okay. I wanted more time to be present, more time to figure out more in my life. This is the time. And that's when I came across Robin Sharma and the 5 a.m. Club, and that really sent me, because he talked about this island, and he talked about the 9 to 5 worker and the entrepreneur and how they work together to do this thing. It was this parable, this story, and I was like, oh, I love this. Then that sent me into reading essentialism book about how to eliminate the noise and get down to the nitty gritty of it. And I just went on this whole other, it was like a second jump start. And so all these books have just led me to realize that I love self-man. I love figuring out self, because nobody teaches us. We don't learn that in school.
Books raised me.
But like it's
literally,
yeah. Like I said, I believe the way that we create change in the world is to create change within.
Yeah.
And the only way to create change within is to get the information within to then extract what you've been missing.
Top 3 books, would you say? For somebody who is reading nothing right now. And
somebody who reads nothing.
Yeah.
And are looking to just like get jump started on life.
Yeah.
The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari.
Okay.
By Robin Sharma. Atomic Habits by James Clear. I gave you the story through life. I gave you actually principles and habits. Relentless by his name is slipping my mind. He's the athletic trainer for Michael Jordan, Kobe, and D Wade.
I read that.
Yeah.
What was his name again?
It's Tim Grover. Tim Grover or something like that.
Tim Grover, I think. Yeah.
And the reason why I would say in that order too, because the Monk Who Sold His Ferrari is going to teach you how to let go of the layers of life and just follow the path. Atomic Habits now that you're on the path, it's going to get you to lock in on those transitional things. And then Relentless is going to, cause he gonna kick you in the ass. He gonna say, all right, now that you got all that out the way, let's get to work. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, let me give you the real.
So after traveling, because you travel, you read, you do all these different things. Like, what would you say is what resonates with you the most? Like, what has changed the most in you? What has touched the most
when traveling?
Yeah, and where has it come from?
So really, I started deep traveling 2021. 2021 was Greece. Into 2021 was Senegal. Into 2022, that's where I spent New Year's. Then from Senegal, it was Tanzania, Zanzibar, Egypt. Then I had layovers in place, like in Spain and in Morocco, Amsterdam. Then that led to, of course, this year, which was all around Asia, pretty much. Belize I went to. But when I went to Africa, hey man, I felt the ancestors just like on the boy. When I went to Tanzania, the word I kept using was vast. When we had to drive to the Serengeti, we drove from Arusha, I believe it was, to the Serengeti, 8 hours. And it's nothing but land.
As far as your eyes can see.
I'm talking about different colors, textures, different animals, different people, different tribes, different kids hurting stuff on the side of the road, like people selling. I'm just like, where am I at? And why do I feel so connected to this place? Then you get to the Serengeti.
A whole new experience.
And you're like, I'm in the wild. This is their home.
So then after doing all of that, right? And what would you never go back to? Or what has your greatest mindset
I'll never
shift
go back to not realizing how connected to nature we are. That's why I got this tattoo. It's a flower, and up under is a human root. Like how connect, like being out there, like being by the water, being in the woods when we went hiking, and you feel like everything. You feel like you can breathe different. Like you was like, oh, I needed this, and we literally used to live off the land. Like They had stuff to numb your teeth if you had a toothache. They had stuff for your stomach. Everything from a tree, from the roots, from the ground. If the women needed makeup, they cracked the fruit open, use the. I come from Earth. We are Earth. Like, nature is us. We are connected to nature, and so I'll never go back to like where I was just like not disrespecting nature, but just not realizing how important it is to be outside. Right. Everybody's perspective is different. Like, the Ferraris and Lamborghinis we have here, they don't care nothing about that. They are so happy. To them, it's not bare minimum. To us, it might look like bare minimum, but to them, this is their life. Like, I get up, I take care of family, I herd, I get food. I'm good. I'm living. I build strength. Like, I pray. They just pray all day. Like, I pray. We get so caught up in this chase, trying to chase after this thing we want. And I'm just like.
And sometimes it takes you away from the things that, the meaning of life and the things that are so important. There's this quote, right? It says, "We shall not cease from exploration. And the end of all of our exploring, we will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time." So the question is, after traveling all of the world, all of those places, you have to come back home. And home starts to look different because now you've expanded. So now that you've returned to LA, like, how is your new approach to LA, and what does LA look and feel like to you?
Opportunity. Each time before I left, I was ready to go. Each time coming back, I look at it as like, I get to be here. This is a blessing. I get to be here. This is opportunity. Because now that I see how some live with nothing, I get to come back to this place where some people even in the United States can't live. And so it looks like opportunity to me. It looks like another opportunity to curate something different. Inspire somebody to believe that they can do the same thing. Go home, go back to your home with something different. Take a new energy back to the city that you've been in. So you come back with a new energy. When you go that far and come back, you're like, I'm gonna get my head down. I'm gonna get to work, and I'm gonna make something of this place.
With all of that said, what do you want more for men and for Black men?
I want them to know not just who they are, but where they come from. And not in a sense of location, but in a sense of spirit. You come from a lineage of like people who fought, like people who said, nah, we not just sitting here doing this. We gotta fight. Like, even before that, you come from a lineage of literal kings. So in that sense, everything you do should come from a place of, I belong here. Step into spaces knowing you belong there. I don't care if you're the only Black person in there. I belong here. Like, when you walk into a room and you look around and nobody looks like you, it's okay, because you look like you. You're the unique one. You are the one with the voice. So I want Black men to know who they are from a spiritual standpoint. And then what I want them to do is I want them to travel more. I wish I had more Black men on the trip. It was a lot of Black women and a few Black men, but I would love to have had like equal, if not more, Black men, because we need that. Like, I think they need to go see these things. Go venture off. It's too much world to see and not that much life to live to see everything, but there's a lot of life to live to see some things.
You're on this journey and it will continue, and there's more of you to learn, and like maybe a year from now we'll be doing another version of this.
Man, who knows?
We'll be talking big. How do you bring all of this? How does it impact the work that you do, the business that you do, the brands that you build?
What I need to be doing is creating things that move me. Like, create things that I love, Lord, when I see it, or that make me laugh. Then I'm like, oh, I love that. Like, so more so on the creative directing side, which involves writing, producing, all that stuff, like lending towards creatives to be expressive and for business people to collaborate with creatives, like create the culture of the creative entrepreneur.
And I heard you say you want a wife. That's interesting because
Yeah.
you had a podcast where you were like, I don't know if this whole relationship
Yeah.
thing is for me. So it's
Yeah,
interesting now. I don't know if that's an evolution or what.
It's the travel.
But
It's the travel.
yeah.
Like, I've seen so much family. I've seen so much community. Like, it literally impacted me so much. Like when you get married in Bali, you get a temple because they want to house a safe space for you and your family. You get they pray before everything, before opening the store, and you start to realize, like, this is what I need. Like, this is what I've been missing. Like, I want that aspect. Like, our tour guide, he had just got married, but he'd been with his girl for a while, and he was like, he just sounded so excited about it and sounded so happy and blessed about it. And I was like, yeah, man.
Do you have a list?
I do.
Because women make a list. So I'm just trying to wonder if, like, men make lists.
It's like I do, and I like to write stuff down and make it plain.
Yeah.
But I also know she's not gonna be what I think. I just know. I just know. I just know. I just know that. I just know it's not gonna be. I could write it all down, and God will laugh at me and throw it out the window and be like, "Nah, this is it." Yeah.
Well, I'm extremely happy for you, my friend.
Thank you.
Pray that everything goes extremely well with your business,
Thank you.
with your life, that you continue to unfold and multiply and elevate, and that everything that you put your hand on just, amplifies not only your life, but the lives of those around you.
Amen.
So, amen.